Answer any questions they may have. Proposed amendments to chapter 13, the zoning code for the village of Somerset, updating the Wisconsin Administrative Code citations in the chapter to reflect current Wisconsin Administrative Code citations. Probably nothing to say about that. Okay. I'm gonna close the public hearing at 6:03 p.m. and call the regular meeting to order at 6:03. Any public comment on agenda items? We can go through the meeting minutes of December 5th. Is it still not letting me join? It says its host is joined.
It looks like Bob's on here as the village, so that might be. Bob, you might have joined as the host.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you might have to be.
Can you let me in?
No.
Is there anybody else on, Bob?
Yeah. Sorry, bear with me a sec.
No worries.
So I was like clicking around like see what I was.
Well, make a motion to recommend approval of the minutes from December 5.
For a second,
I'll second.
further discussion.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Brendan. I think it's something on my end that I messed up here. I don't know, for some reason I got control of the meeting remotely. I don't know how it happened.
Okay.
Now, Bob, for some reason I muted, so if you mute, then we should be good.
So the current property
was 3.3 acres, we'd be adding, I think it was 1.1 acres for a total of 4.4 acres into one large parcel for the project itself. Any questions you guys may have?
Zach, the property that 1.1 acres hasn't closed yet?
We did close on
You
that.
did
Yeah,
close,
we
okay.
did close that, yeah.
All right, I was gonna say, it'd be hard to approve something if the property hasn't.
Yes,
closed.
I apologize, yeah, that
Okay.
is closed. So we're looking currently it's an A1 zoning to an I1 designation, which would allow.
And the other one, the lower portion was already I1, right? So
Correct.
it's just that extra.
Correct, yeah.
It's all just what we've
What we've already talked about.
Then I make a motion to recommend approval of the rezone for Olson Sanitation.
I'll second that motion.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Good evening.
You too. Yes, thank you. Discussion, possible recommendation, proposed amendments to chapter 13 zoning code for the village of Somerset, updating the Wisconsin Administrative Code citations in the chapter to reflect current Wisconsin Administrative Code citations. Look at the changes, they look good. And thank you for the way they were struck out this time and underlined, but,
That wasn't me, that was Tony and Paul, so,
oh, perfect.
yep, I'll let them take the credit.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval for the proposed amendments.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
First and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion, possible recommendation, authority and role of zoning administrator.
That was brought by me. Just, I guess, to help the committee here. There must be a set of rules and guidelines for zoning administrators, a zoning administrator. So the more as I thought after talking to Tasia, is there anything that we can get from you that defines what the zoning administrator's role is? So something from the state of Wisconsin or whatever. I think, and just to get it so that we have clear definitions of what that role is actually gonna obtain, or
Yeah, good idea.
so in reference to Brandon Cohen, who had addressed a complaint to me on something he wanted to look at, and it was a personal residence. And as I looked and viewed it, it is basically yard art and not signage. And it's been there, you know, for over 30 years since I've been here, over here in Arnold Street.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I, you know, as I don't see it as a violation.
It's been an eccentric corner for years and years.
I mean, it's been there since I moved here,
Mhm.
since I started coaching back in 95. So,
Maybe Tasia, just, so it's kind of a refresher for all of us. If you could send out chapter 13 from our village ordinances to all the planning commission members, and we can review it and understand a little bit better.
yeah, and that's just to help, I guess it's more for me, maybe some people already understand it, but more for me, so I know exactly where we're going in.
Yeah.
I think when we first took on this role, which isn't that long ago, we were unclear just exactly what it was, but it was more than anything else to take on the role of updating the CUPs. That was
Right.
what our main role was beyond anything else. And so it never would have had anything to do with that anyway.
Correct. And I'm just referencing, I did have a council member ask me to.
Mhm.
go after it.
And before, there was no, if there was a violation, there was no authority to even do anything or take care of it, or
Right.
it was a position that was basically unfilled.
So,
Yeah, the zoning, yeah.
so like I said, Tasia, does Wisconsin, I'm assuming they must have some kind of guideline.
Yeah, it's all in our chapter 13.
Okay. So, But that's all I guess on the matter I think we need to talk tonight about. And,
Are you looking for something more than chapter 13? Like for me to look if there's more
I guess,
guidance from somewhere else? I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what you're asking.
correct. Well, I guess if there's more information or more guidelines out there, I mean, I know personally for me, it'd be helpful. So I would say if we could just get it or, you know, a link to it or where to go and, I mean, I'm not super computer smart, but.
Okay.
But I'm just looking so that we can get a clear definition and what the role exactly will be, or are we just looking at old CUPs and making sure that they're,
I think that's the looking at the conditional use permits, trying to get everything kind of up to date and
right,
whatever this
Cause I think when we looked
commission
at
needs to do.
the old guidelines for how things worked, it was the zoning administrator that was supposed to keep up on the CUPs. But Somerset had no zoning administrator. And so we had to say, well, did we hire somebody? And we as a body just said, we'll take that on.
My memory's not super, I mean, it was a long time that I read through it, but Bob, can you add anything to what the role of the zoning administrator is and why we chose this entire board and why it got voted in by the board for the planning commission to handle it?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I think that was pretty recent, if my memory is correct, that where the zoning administrator would fall under duties of a plan commission. Is that the question you're asking?
Probably a year ago,
yeah,
though.
a couple of years
Right.
ago at the most.
Well, it was while I was on here, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose we're coming up on 2 years, so a year and a half
But it's
ago.
been within my time and I haven't been as long.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of the whole board or the whole planning commission, because it was one or two or three gonna do it, but then what if they can't make it, or what if they disagree? And so we just enabled the whole planning commission to have that role, and if a majority of us could go out and see something or vote on something, done. It's pretty loose.
Yeah. Anything that you can add to it, Bob?
No, other than there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the CUPs. Just locating the properties is difficult because the parcel IDs are, I don't know what the formula is that was used in the past, but I don't know where parcel 27A or some of these things are. So it's sometimes difficult to figure out, you know, where contract limited packaging is at, because there's not a St. Croix County parcel identification. It's some, I don't know, somebody's crafted a different way of doing it, but I've looked and I've tried to understand where they came up with the parcel, and I don't know where it is. Other than that, I think when properties are sold, we need to pay attention to that again. I think I mentioned this before. We've got several industry buildings that have been sold. The uses are completely different. And, you know, we're trying to figure out some type of a systematic approach to flag those when there's a sale or a change in the use of the property. And I don't know, that'll probably be an internal discussion. I know we've had a few of them, but we just need to, that's another big one we need to figure out.
can we tie the county in on that? And when a property changes hands, is there a way that they can give us a notification to it? So that we know if Dick's Market sold and a petting zoo is going in, you know, I mean, is there some way we can know through the county, since they get the records? It sounds like they get it first, and then we find out when we send out our billings. That's kind of the impression I got from one of the past meetings.
They probably could. I don't know if they'd be willing to. I don't know. I guess it's a question I could reach out and ask the county if that's something they would be willing to do. I know it would probably involve you know, Register of Deeds versus St. Croix, and different department in St. Croix County.
And that might be challenging to get those records, but maybe moving forward, when a business change hands, they come to the village to put it in the new ownership name. And then maybe if we can somehow flag it then.
Yeah, we feel it's probably gonna be best to do it through utilities. And if there's a, you know, a change in property that everybody that moves or buys a home or buys a business, the first step is going to utilities to have their, account set up. So we feel that probably will be the best way to manage this most effectively.
I could see putting together a letter to the businesses that we have the CUPs for, sending out, we're updating all of our conditional use permits. Please, provide a current parcel ID number instead of the old numbers that they have. Maybe, if it's a certain garage or building or something on a site, please provide a map showing where this building or whatever it is, cold storage or whatever it is, and if there's any, here's your current conditional use permit, please let us know if there's anything that has changed since this thing that we need to update.
That's a good idea, I think. So each and every business in town or place that we have a CUP, send them a letter telling them to give us a village property site.
Yeah, and that would at least narrow it down, and if some people don't fill it out, then we go figure that out on our own.
Pay a visit.
Yeah. Good plan. And then I like what Bob said is, because when a business, like if you just, like you said, Dick's, a seller isn't gonna be even thinking about their CUP as they're selling. And the buyer isn't even gonna know to think about a CUP when they're buying. So like Bob said, the utilities, that's an automatic switch over. So if the utilities had record of a CUP, they could tell the new owner, hey, this is something that's in the property you're buying. So going forward, that'd be a good way to make this not have to keep happening.
Right, and this will take some time, that's fine, but let's just try to get it right in the end. And then going forward, make it,
It's a growing pain that happens when you're small town getting bigger. We didn't know what we were doing. We're learning.
sound like it would work to you, Bob?
It should. I don't know what our response rate will be. Probably like everything else, surveys will get about 10 to 15% that'll comply, but yeah, we can reach out.
Can you draft up a little, what that letter should say and then send it to the planning commission just for review? And then we can maybe do it in like a Google document or something, so we can add or subtract questions that we think might be applicable.
Don't know if I'll be able to do it in a Google Doc. Tasia will be able to answer that one.
We don't have a village Google, so it'd have to be on, Office 365.
I come in tonight, huh?
That's going.
Good. So do I need to be here for anything for WB?
I don't think so. We can probably go right to it though and look through it.
Okay.
Cause we're just going through all the like old conditional use permits.
Yep.
And yours is fairly new. Well, yours is like from 2020 or something like that, isn't it?
Nah, might even be more recent than that.
But, so like, we have old parcel numbers, like one that says 44C, and there's other ones where just, you don't even know where they are, or if they're the same business, we're just trying to update them.
Okay.
And I think you're fairly. So we're just kind of going all over the agenda right now, if that's okay with you guys.
Yes.
Yeah,
Chris,
Yeah, we'll go with it. Okay, so WB LLC.
April 21st, 2020,
Okay, good call.
yeah. Eric, yours, install and maintain a 6-foot fence around the entire perimeter of the outside storage work area. That check,
Yep,
good.
yep.
Evergreen plantings of the same species shall exist on the south boundary area of the fenced in indoor storage and work area.
Yes, there's the perimeter on 3 sides, actually 4 sides now we've planted.
And it says any evergreen planting that does not survive shall be removed and replaced with the same species.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're trying to keep up with that. I think it's about 75 a year in the last that we've lost.
Replacing.
what do you have,
Yes.
what do you have for species?
They are it's a,
Some kind of a,
I'm drawing a blank.
we can move on. All outdoor storage of materials must be contained within the fenced area.
Mhm.
Okay. No outside storage of hazardous materials.
No.
Work days, Monday through Friday, with occasional weekends and holidays. Work hours be 8 AM to 5 PM.
Usually, I think it was during daylight hours. I thought that's what we had.
Well, if you need something adjusted, we're not here like hammer on people. We're
Right.
here to just try to make sure we update these and
That's adequate.
make them right. A caretaker's resident will be located on site to provide general maintenance and security of the property.
He's still there, yeah.
Okay. Must comply with all local, state, and federal laws and regulations.
As far as I know, I'm there.
So it's all still working for you?
Pardon
The
me?
CUP is all still working for you?
Yeah.
No problem.
Any,
Yeah.
anything else to add or delete or anything?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay, well, we know one that we can,
And the beautiful part about this one is since it's one of the newer ones, it does say it's at
Does have the-
334 Compo.
and it actually has the updated parcel number and address, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so all right. You're
All right, I'm good.
you're good, thank you,
All right,
Eric.
thank you all.
Yeah,
Thanks, Eric.
thank you.
All right. Do you have anything else on what we were talking about before Eric came in?
We got a good plan there going forward.
So what,
Yeah, we were talking about the letter. Yes, maybe, Bob, if you can draft something up and then send it out to the planning commission. And then, and it doesn't have to be in a Google Drive, and then we can just respond to you individually to say, what do you think about this question, and get like a rough draft going. And maybe if we could have it done, say, 10 days before our next planning commission meeting, so it's something we can review and maybe approve at our next planning commission, and then get it sent out by after the following board meeting.
Yeah.
I sound really smart right now.
Yeah, but you should let us be the one that identifies that for you.
I'm just impressed. Does
sure,
that work, Bob? Right. So I say that we look through and review the ones that we know have the updated parcel number, the ones that we absolutely know where they're at and know if they're in compliance. We approve those, and the rest we send the letters to.
Of the ones that are currently on our list that we're gonna look over tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's do that.
Does that work? So,
Starting with us.
sure.
So just to clarify, these are on for discussion, which is what we did the first time.
Yep.
So, and I think it worked well. You guys will make your edits tonight, and then I'll bring them back to the next meeting in like the stricken, underlined and all that for you to approve the final copy, and then that would be what would be recommended as an update to the board.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that next week or next month, we have one that actually tells us where we are.
yes,
in
Yeah.
Somerset. Yeah.
Yep.
So for the first one, for the Dan and Mary Vanas, that one has the old parcel number. And my recommendation would be to send that letter and ask if there's any changes or anything that they would need to the CUP.
But, so when we did this, and this is a long time ago, it's right here and now that we updated, said how to update the address.
Yeah.
So instead of parcel number, we now want the street address.
We want both parcel number
And
and
street address.
location
Okay.
address, yeah. And we did that on the other ones that we
Yeah.
did approve. We
Yeah.
had two separate lines, parcel number and then address of property.
But are we putting that new address on right here, right now, or is that something that?
We'll do it after
somebody
the-
Does,
After we get the letter back from them,
okay,
the ones that do comply, the ones that don't, we'll have to go do our homework.
okay.
So next is, would be the float right one. Same thing. The part of 43A, back from 98. And we don't even know what building of the property that we're even as the CUP.
But this is a separate building from the other one that involves the restroom? Cause they both say part of 43A.
Correct. So that's why we need almost like a map.
Would they both be the same building then?
No.
No.
No, they
Not
wouldn't.
necessarily.
Please identify on a hand-drawn map where it is or whatever that is, so we have some kind of
Indication
going
of
forward, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I know,
I'm pretty sure I know what building this is as well, but I like that idea too, is each one can include a map. When we send a letter, the letter requests a map of the property, hand-drawn, whatever, that shows where. So Dan would show where his two storage units are. John would show where this building is, or buildings.
yeah. And with non-compliance, Bob said he'll shut off their utilities,
Yeah, I heard him say that.
maybe not.
No. But yeah,
Right,
That one's
so,
easy.
So then Minnesota Built Harris LLC.
I have no idea what this is, where this is.
No idea, parcel number 27A and 28, and it's from,
It's in New York.
2002, which isn't that long ago. It's a U-Haul building, was that when?
It's
No.
on Churchill, Badger State.
Oh,
Storage.
it's 319 Churchill there, where the mini storage is?
Oh.
Yeah.
They became a U-Haul facility or site as well as a storage?
Short-lived.
So do we have for the mini storages that got built there, do they have their own separate CUP?
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
Doesn't look like it.
And I'm not 100%
How would all
positive.
that get approved without having? That would have to go through, and that was maybe only like 15 years ago that went in, right?
This says amended 8/18 of 20 name change.
When did the mini storage actually got built? That was right around 2002, 2005.
I'd have to go back and look to see. You could probably get close if we go on, St. Croix County and see when there was a warranty deed from Jeannie Benas to them.
Since you said 2002, 2005, somewhere in there, wouldn't it make sense that that's why it's got its first date, September 17, 20, or 2002? That's when they first started the CUP for the mini storage? And it didn't get updated for U-Hauls until 2020. And each of those other updates likely because of additional storage or perhaps having outside storage for campers and such?
That
Well, let's
very-
send a letter, see what we find out. Maybe all the answers will come to us. So Dave Plurd for Somerset Camp, this would now be Steve Kaufman's property, so same thing. A letter. Mitchell Foster. This is from 2016. It has an updated parcel number. And that is still the address 537 County Road Double B. Which is kind of interesting because it didn't become double, oh yeah, it was double B by then. New highway went through. From what I know of the property, this one's actually all in compliance. Parcel number, the address, the fencing. I'm not sure if it's 8 foot, but it's at least 6 foot. But again, send a letter and say, is there anything that has changed in the CUP that you need added or deleted?
Yeah.
Burcom Inc.
So one thing just about these letters is I believe the people should be that will include the CUP, their current CUP, because I can tell you 90% of these people don't know where that is, or some of them might not even know that they have one.
Correct.
Um,
And
so-
we did say that we would include their current CUP.
Okay.
So Vercom is the building right up behind Somerset, the old Somerset
Mhm.
rental.
Okay.
So the address is right, the parcel number is the new one. I believe there's a fence there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But on the north side, it's this side. North side of the storage area though,
There's nothing in the front of it.
correct? So same thing, send a letter to see if there's anything that needs to be added or subtracted. $475 LaGrange. This one's a 2022. New parcel number. Does it have a 10-foot high decorative fence? That's a tall fence.
That's a tall fence,
That's taller than you almost.
not quite close.
You know, again, send a letter and if they're, say, no, we only have a 6 or 8 foot high fence and we haven't had any problems or complaints or anything, we amend their CUP and move forward.
So as long as we're not moving on any of these that we were gonna get all finalized tonight, before we get a letter from them. The ones that we're looking at for next month, should they all receive the letter right away as well? So that next month when we meet, we could maybe finalize the ones that we were gonna finalize tonight and finalize the ones that we were hoping to do next month?
I think as long as we can get a draft done within like 10 days or so, 10, 14 days before our next meeting, then at our meeting, we all look over it.
Oh, the draft first, yeah, so
And then we approve the draft
before, that's right, so all that has to happen before we move on any of these.
and then we'll go to the full board just to approve the letter that we would send out and then send them out as quick as possible.
Alright.
I guess my question is, does a letter that we send out even need board approval?
I was just gonna ask that.
I wouldn't really think so.
No, it's not. No, we can send a letter out to anybody
Yeah,
and we're trying to obtain information. It's not a cause for action. It's
yeah.
just to clear things up.
Fine with that.
Yeah,
So maybe we do it a little different. We just get that letter, however long it takes you to get it done. We'll revise it, go over it. I'll approve it as a committee here and then we can get to work on it. Does that work for you, Bob?
Yep, that sounds good.
Tasia, we're gonna get you to get some work for you.
All right,
Waste management, still 2,000.
this is that next set, so they're not on the.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
we're
it.
done with the ones that we were gonna do tonight.
same thing. It's old parcel number. Yeah, so instead of just going through them all, we approve a letter to get sent out. Request compliance, and the ones that don't, then we investigate further and what we need. Work for everyone?
Good idea.
Ask a clarifying question. If we're sending out a letter, would it make the most sense to just send it to everyone who has a CUP rather than doing it in?
No, because they'll need a copy of their current CUP to review it.
Right, which we can do. We have their current CUPs. So my question is, rather than sending to like these 8 and then.
Oh, yeah,
this,
yeah, we,
To send it to
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Current CUPs.
yeah. So maybe you can even kind of start putting that little packet together and then we can, as soon as we can get that letter of questionnaire that we're putting together to you, then they're ready to go. So we're,
Mhm.
and there's what, 100 and some CUPs?
I think so.
Is that it?
Seems to be it.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 6:39 PM.
Thank you. Well run.